As many of you guys know, NFL free agency has just begun, and I'm going to start off with a list of 6 of the, in my opinion, most intriguing free agents in the league and places where I think they should go and they would really fit. I think they would really fit in a lot of these places. But of course, before I get into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, turn the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit, and without further ado, let's get right into this video. Now, of course, before I get into the free agents, I have to talk about Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey was traded to Miami Dolphins for what was pretty much a bunch of a bag of potato chips, essentially. I mean, it was a tight end and then a third-round pick. I'm not gonna throw the Rams away and say they made an all-out bad trade. But this trade was not particularly good for the LA Rams at all. It's not a good look. However, the Miami Dolphins look really good. You have Jalen Ramsey, you have Xavier Howard. I mean, Miami looks amazing. I think I think their safeties are really good. I believe their offense is still really good. I think Miami is going to be really, really good. And we actually have a former Miami player, Micah, who is in this video, or at least he's a Miami player now. He's now a free agent, so I call him former. But of course, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to start off with the most intriguing, and that is Lamar Jackson. Now, he did sign a non-exclusive franchise tag with the Ravens. Micah, what in the world does that mean? Well, a non-exclusive franchise tag with the Ravens basically means the Ravens have to pay him around market value, so like $32 million, for example, and they can match whatever contract another team offers them. So if the Falcons come in and say, hey, we want to sign you $50 million, well, the Ravens are going to have an opportunity to match that contract. So that's how the non-exclusive franchise tag works. Think of a restricted free agent in the NBA. It's essentially kind of the same thing. Now, of course, for Lamar Jackson, my best possible fit for him is going to be a little shocking, but I think it's going to be the Raiders. I like the Raiders for Lamar Jackson. Now, it's hard to choose for Lamar Jackson because I don't think he's going to flourish in every offense. He's not a pass-heavy guy. You need a rushing offense. However, the Raiders, they have a great rushing offense. They have Josh Jacobs. They're in need of a starting quarterback, and they are not quite out of the sweepstakes for Lamar Jackson yet. The Raiders have a lot of cap space. They have possibly the best wide receiver in the league in Devontae Adams, a Pro Bowl tight end in Darren Waller, and once again, an all-pro level running back in Josh Jacobs. Now, of course, this has potential to be one of the most lethal offenses in the league. You have to worry about Lamar running, him throwing to 2 of the best targets in the league, or him handing the ball off to a guy who ran for 1,600 yards last year. Absolutely amazing. I think the Raiders, if they happen to snatch up Lamar in free agency, it could be league-changing. And it's going to be the craziest division in football. Kansas City, you have the Raiders. You're going to have the Chargers in that division as well. So it's just absolutely ridiculous. You're looking at a potentially stacked division in football with this team. Now, of course, going to our second guy, Mike Gesicki. Everyone's wondering, where in the world is Mike going to go? He didn't really fit in with Miami's new offense under their new head coach. However, I do think he would fit in Detroit. Now, of course, Detroit did lose an all-pro level tight end, TJ Hawkinson, last year. I think that is one position. This team is in desperate need of a tight end. And he can really help Jared Goff in a season in which he's coming off probably one of the best ever since he played with the LA Rams all the way back in 2016, 15, 17 when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Patriots. Of course, he will be a great blocker for this team, but most of all, he's going to help with the passing game. There are only a couple pieces away from being a lethal offense, and by they, I mean the Detroit Lions, and I definitely believe Mike Gesicki can really give this offense a little boost, or the little boost it needs at the tight end position to become one of the better ones in the entirety of the NFL. Now, number 3. Number 3 is intriguing because his name is C.J. Gardner-Johnson. While Philadelphia has shown signs of trying to go back and get him, the Eagles are, they don't have a lot of cap space, so that's not really too possible right now. So, I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson is going to end up in Cincinnati. I don't think the Bengals are likely going to re-sign Jesse Bates, and I think they bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a replacement to play possibly both safety positions. C.J. is a little more agile. He's able to play a little bit more positions. He's a little more versatile at the safety position. So I think this will be a great get for the Bengals. Now, even if the Bengals find a way to keep both of these guys on their defense, C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Jesse Bates could make up the best safety duo in the league. You're going to have 2 of the top 5 to 10 safeties in the league on one team. That could potentially be very, very great in a very dangerous defensive backfield for the Bengals. I think they have the potential to be an amazing team. The Bengals have the offense together. They just need to get their defense a little bit better so they can get over the hump and possibly win a Super Bowl next season, because we all know they're going to contend. With Joe Burrow on your team and healthy, you always have a chance. Now, of course, going to number 4, a guy who we just talked about with C.J. Gardner-Johnson is Jessie Bates. Now, if you were listening before, which if you were watching this video, you probably were, I don't think Jessie Bates is going to be back in Cincinnati. But I'm doing this for my Atlanta fans. You see the background? You know. I'm the biggest Atlanta fan in history. I think Jessie Bates come to ATL. I think he comes to Atlanta. Of course, this is a dream for us Falcons fans out there. The Atlanta Falcons are in desperate need for a safety out of free agency. Of course, they have a lot of cap space, so signing Jessie Bates to the contract of his liking is not going to be too hard to do. Of course, this would also make a crazy duo. A.J. Terrell and Jessie Bates in the defensive backfield would be absolutely ridiculous. And I think Atlanta desperately needs defensive backs along with the defensive linemen. But this is definitely an upgrade, and this would definitely help the Atlanta Falcons down the road. Now, going to number 5, possibly the most intriguing free agent in NFL history right now, and he hasn't even played a game in well over a year. That guy's name is Odell Beckham Jr., one of the most popular superstars possibly in NFL history. I think he is another guy that will fit very well on the Raiders. Now, let's face it, Odell Beckham Jr. is not a number 1 receiver anymore, but on the Raiders in Las Vegas, he does not have to be. Odell, Adams, and Waller all have the ability to devastate defenses on their side of the field. This tandem could grow to be the best in the entire NFL, and it would feature 4 1,000-yarders with a running back in Josh Jacobs, who also is a 1,000-yard back. You have Devontae Adams, who's a 1,000-yard receiver. You have Darren Waller, who has the potential to be a 1,000-yard tight end. That's a very, very big amount. It's a lot of talent. I think Odell, as a 3rd receiver or a 2nd receiver, lining up possibly in the slot every once in a while, can also be a 1,000-yarder. And just imagine if they got Odell Beckham Jr. and Lamar Jackson to be a part of this offense for the Raiders. It would be immaculate. The Raiders would probably be the best offense in the entirety of the league with these 2 additions. And I think Odell Beckham Jr., whether Lamar Jackson comes there or not, is still a great fit for the Raiders looking ahead. Now, of course, going to number 6, our last guy is an offensive lineman. Goes overlooked, but is Orlando Brown. Now, if you've seen the trades in the upcoming days, a certain team traded with the Carolina Panthers to acquire wide receiver DJ Moore and to get the 9th overall pick, and the Panthers got the 1st overall pick. That team is the Chicago Bears, and I think the Bears is the best possible fit for Orlando Brown. It seems like Chicago is finally content with their quarterback carousel that's been going on for seemingly the last 10 years. They want to build around Justin Fields. Great. What's the first step in building around Justin Fields? Well, the first step in building around Justin Fields is getting some blockers for him. Orlando Brown has had a great season. He had a great season in Kansas City, winning a Super Bowl, and he would definitely improve this offensive line that is desperate for improvement next season in the NFL. I think Orlando Brown is really, really good at that tackle position. He also blocked for Lamar Jackson earlier in his career, so he knows what it's like to block for a guy who's a little agile, likes to get out of the pocket, move around, and make big plays with his legs. That is exactly what Justin Fields likes to do, and I think Orlando Brown, because of the fit, because of his size, and because of his skill set, will be a perfect fit for the Chicago Bears. But, of course, that's going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You guys help me out a little bit. But, of course, as usual, I wish you nothing but the best. Stay loved, stay blessed. I'm going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Yeah.